Today we are going to talk about ratios. By the end of class today, you will be able to explain the concept of a ratio and use ratio language to describe a ratio relationship. Now, ratios are brand new in sixth grade. This is the first time really that you will be learning about them. So we are going to start with the basics. What is a ratio? Well, a ratio is a comparison of two quantities. So we'll see a bunch of examples today, but basically all you're doing is comparing two things. Now, as we move forward, we will get to more specific types of ratios, but generally speaking, a ratio is when we compare two things, two quantities. Now, you can have two kinds of ratios. One is a part to part, so we compare parts of things. And then the other is we compare a part to a whole. Again, we will take a look at some examples of that. But before we get too far, I want to show you how we write ratios. So there's three different ways that we can write a ratio. The first way is to write the word to B. Okay, so with that word to. The second way to write ratios is A with a colon B. And then the third way is with a fraction bar, A over B. All three of these ways are acceptable ways to write ratios. As we move forward in this unit and in the coming years, we will see where it is more appropriate to use each of these. But know that there are three ways to write a ratio. So let's go ahead and do an example here. If we are looking at a class, let's say there are 5 boys in a class and 6 girls in a class, the total would be 5 plus 6 is 11. Okay, so this class of kids has 5 boys, 6 girls, 11 total students. So what this would look like is the boys is one part, the girls is another part, and then the total is your whole. So this is what I mean about part to part and part to whole ratios. If I wanted, I could compare the quantity of boys and girls. Or I could compare one of these parts to the whole. So I could say boys to the total, or girls to the total. So let's try. If I say I want to know the ratio of boys to girls, I would write, I can write it this way, 5 with the word to, 6. I can write that with the colon, 5 to 6. Or I could write that with that fraction bar, 5 to 6. Now, you want to make sure that you keep your order the same. So if we say we want to know the ratio of boys to girls, then you must write 5 to 6. If boys comes first, 5 must come first in your ratio. And the reason for that is it would just get confusing. If I said, I want the ratio of boys to girls, and you said 6 to 5, that's inaccurate. Okay, so if boys comes first in our statement, then boys will come first in our ratio. Okay, so there's 3 ways to write and read a ratio. So one is to just simply say, we'll keep using this, 5 to 6. So if I just see this, I can just read it as 5 to 6. Now, if I'm talking about the relationships, I would say this. For every 5 boys, there are 6 girls. So every 5 boys, there are 6 girls. Or I could say there are 5 boys for every 6 girls. So it's important to note that we are using the words for every and there are. We just switched the order. Okay, so if I were to read this ratio and describe the relationship, I would say for every 5 boys, there are 6 girls, or there are 5 boys for every 6 girls. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. One thing that I do not want you to forget is that order matters. So you have to pay attention to the order. You'll get word problems and such that'll try and flip the order on you. Pay attention. All right, let's try this. We'll do the monkey and banana example first. It says that we are going to write the ratio and describe what it means. We can just discuss that. So if I'm going to write the ratio of monkeys to bananas, I would count that there is 1, 2, 3, 4 monkeys to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bananas. So my ratio would read 4 to 5. This one says to compare monkeys to total. So I know that there's 4 monkeys. Let's try writing our ratio in a different way. Let's use the word 2. 4 monkeys to the total. Well, how many objects are there? 4 monkeys plus 5 bananas gets me 9. So the ratio of monkeys to total objects would be 4 to 9. And then lastly, we have total to bananas. Let's try writing with the fraction bar. So we would say in total, there are 9 objects and there are 5 bananas. So my ratio would be 9 to 5. Why don't you give that a try over here? We've got dogs and cats. What would the ratio be for dogs to cats? The ratio for cats to total and the ratio for cats to dogs. Try to write your ratios using all 3 different ways. Fantastic. So our ratio of dogs to cats is 3 to 4. Cats to total is 4 to 7. And cats to dogs is 4 to 3. All right, let's take a look at another type of example here. We've got tables, and we do this in a very similar way to what we were just doing, except we pull the data, the information out of a table. So here we have a table of sports and the number of students who play that sport. And here we have soccer to track. So I would say, okay, well, if there are 11 soccer players, to how many track stars? 15. So my ratio would be 11 to 15. Volleyball to soccer, 8 to 11. Basketball to total sports players. Well, basketball, there's 12. And then that sports means the total. So I would need to count all of these up. 12 plus 11 plus 15 plus 8 gets me 46. So my ratio would be 12 to 46. And then lastly, I have sports to track. So sports would be 46 and track players are 15 track athletes. All right, why don't you give this table a try? Go ahead and determine what the ratios are for each of these items. Fantastic. So orange to strawberry is 5 to 3. Lime to popsicles is 4 to 12. Strawberry to lime, 3 to 4. And popsicles to orange is 12 to 5. We've got one more piece to take a look at today, and that is practicing writing our statements. So we have some fill in the blank here, and then you're going to try writing your sentences on your own. Okay, so we're going to use the picture here and fill in the blanks. So we are going to practice reading the statements as well. So it says the ratio of pencils to erasers is, well, there are 4 pencils and 6 erasers. So the ratio of pencils to erasers is 4 to 6. The ratio of calculators to pencils. So calculators, there's 2. And pencils, there's 4. So my ratio would be 2 to 4. And then lastly, I have for every 6 erasers, there are 2 calculators. So what I would like you to do right now is you're going to look at this bottom picture here. And you are going to write at least 3 sentences using ratio relationship language. So the for every, there are, try and switch it up. And you are going to write 3 ratio sentences about this picture here.